Welcome to our step-by-step guide on integrating Testkube with Azure DevOps. We're starting on the Azure DevOps Marketplace. Let's search for the Testkube CLI extension. From here, click on Get It Free to start the installation process. Choose your organization from the drop-down and then click on Install. The installation is complete. Let's proceed to the organization. The extension is now available for any of your existing projects, or you can start by creating a new one. Let's move to Testkube and create a new test. I will call it demo, and then for the type I will use curl test, and as a source it will be Git, and I have prepared a repository where I have a curl test defined. So I will specify the main branch and then the sample.json file. Now I can create the test. The test doesn't have any runs yet, but we can run it just to see that it works. And the test was successful. Now what we want to do is to trigger this exact same test from Azure. Moving back to our Azure DevOps project, let's create an Azure Pipelines YAML file to define our pipeline. Now I'll paste some configuration, which you can find in our documentation. And what this is doing is defining a new job called run Testkube that uses the setup Testkube custom task provided by our Testkube CLI extension. Then you have to pass some inputs. We will use environment variables for those. And after that, you can add new steps where you can run scripts using the Testkube CLI. And as you can see, we are running the run test command with the name demo. That's the name of the test that we just created, and the follow tag. Next, let's navigate to the Pipelines tab from the sidebar and create a new pipeline. I will choose my Azure repository, and it will automatically detect the configuration. Now, before we run it, we have to define the variables that we use as inputs. So the first one is tk.org ID. And to find the organization and environment ID and the API tokens, we will move back to Testkube. Then we can go to settings, and here in the commands we can see the organization ID, and I will set it as a value. Now we want to create a new one for the environment. And finally, to create a new API token, we will go to the top and then organization management, API tokens, add a new token. I will set it as no expiration for now. And going back, keep this value as a secret. Okay, and save. Let's run the pipeline. A new job has been created, and we can wait a couple of seconds for it to complete. The job was successful, and now we can look at the trigger Testkube test, and we can see all the logs from our test, and it ran successfully. If we go back to the Testkube dashboard, we can see that now we have a new execution, demo2, which was triggered from Azure. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video helped you get started with Testkube and Azure DevOps.